Okay, so we're back with more of this shark save. So I simmed ahead to the off season. It's now June the 12th of 2021. So we got the draft coming up, I think a week from where we are right now. Show you the standings. Obviously, we're trying to be as bad as humanly possible. We ended up winning 4 games with a winning percentage of 0.85. Oh, and the really fucked up thing is we didn't even win the draft lottery. Where is it? Minnesota won the draft lottery, and we have pick number 2. And both of the teams whose first we had, Vegas and Dallas, they both made the playoffs. Dallas made it with 91 points as well. So that's a little bit upsetting, but it's all right. We got the draft coming up, and in the meantime, I didn't do much over the last bunch of months. I traded a few other guys, like I traded Donato for some picks, and I think Balsers and Alexander True. Just because I felt like, even though Balsers and True are still fairly young, I felt like the assets I was being given were worth more than those 2 players were going to be to my team going forward. So we've got, I think it's 33 picks in the draft total, which is more than an entire round on its own. But yeah. Oh, and so as far as our roster goes, I kept. Well, first of all, I offered new contracts to all the guys that were expiring, except some of them understandably didn't want to stay with this team. I don't think I offered Marleau a new contract because he's 41 and he's probably going to retire anyways. But I extended anyone who wanted to be extended for a reasonable price. I still have Timo Meier. I still have Kevin LeBanc. I still have Erik Karlsson. I'm not sure if it's because of sentimental reasons, but I felt like I was being offered kind of shit. Like teams were offering me like a third, a fourth, and a crappy prospect, and I was like, I feel like he's one of the only people that, I mean, on a team that got 4 wins, an AVR of 7 is not too bad. Our leading scorers, well, it was Meier and LeBanc, who LeBanc managed to break 50 points on such a horrible team. And the reason why there aren't very many people up right now is because my assistant general manager, while I set myself on vacation, sent a bunch of guys down to the AHL after our NHL season ended. But we were icing a full roster during the season. We weren't just tanking by, playing by dressing 12 people a night. Yeah, the goalies both got sent down, but yeah, no, it was questionable all around. The goalies were getting like 85 save percentages, and stuff like that. Okay, so that's that, and I think I'm now going to sim head to the draft. I had my scouts sort of going all over the place to scout this draft, and hopefully, I'm not that good at drafting in this game, but hopefully we can get some good stuff with our multitude of picks. Okay, so by the way, the Ducks won the cup for some reason. Well, if we look at their stats, Raquel did well, Comtois, Drysdale had a good season. Okay, but the real reason is John Gibson, 930 during the season, 927 in the playoffs. So there you go. Also, I was looking at the Vezina voting earlier, and Vasilevsky had like a 940. How do you spell? Isn't that spelled correct? Vasil. Okay. Let's do it this way instead. Oh, they're spelling it without. Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, 943 in the regular season, 930 in the playoffs, and somehow the Lightning lost. I'll show you the playoff tree, actually. The Lightning lost to the Leafs for some reason. The Leafs, actually, how did Evander Kane do after I traded him to them? Where is he? Here he is. Wow. Okay. Damn. Who the hell did they play him with? Oh, they play. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, I understand now. They took Timon off the first line. They put Evander Kane there. Okay, I understand. Great. Okay, so we're at the draft now, and again, like I said, I'm not that good at drafting, but I will try to do my best. Okay, so the Wild picked first, like we discussed. They took Dylan Guenther. So essentially, the next 4 people in the draft rankings are all defensemen. And okay, so my reasoning is I don't think any of the defensemen I have right now are pieces of my future, other than maybe Merkley if he pans out. Whereas I still have LeBanc and Meyer, and I think maybe a couple other young guys at forward. So I think I should be prioritizing drafting a defenseman anyways, and I could take a risk on one of these goalies, but I think my priority should be drafting a defenseman first. And I've got these 4 options here. Luke Hughes, who I'm not going to draft, and the reason why I'm not going to draft him is because in an online league, I took Luke Hughes really high, I think like at 6 or 7, and then he totally busted on me. So, busted on me? Phrasing? He totally busted. So, I'm not going to take Hughes. So I have Owen Power, Brent Clark, and Simon Edvinsson. And I'm going to take Edvinsson, and the reason for that is... okay, see, again, I'm not sure how much this stuff matters, but my scout thinks he's a more complete player than the other defenseman available. Like he's been given an... I'm not sure how much this report card matters, but I like the fact that he has an A in defense, whereas I think Owen Power has like a C plus or something, which of course that can develop. But one of the things I like about Owen Power is his 18 determination, 15 work rate, which I know are important for prospects panning out. Edvinsson played for Frölunda in the under 20 league, and he was one of the highest scorers in that league as a defenseman, very high AVR in that league. And again, I'm taking that with kind of a grain of salt, but I'm going to draft Simon Edvinsson. How do I draft? I already forgot how to do this. There we go. Edvinsson has been drafted with the 2nd overall pick in round 1. Okay, so we're now at pick number 17. We're drafting with the Stars pick. Let's take a look at who has already picked. Yeah, so a lot of the top people were drafted. The Devils dared to take Owen Power instead of Luke Hughes, and then Clark, Cote, Beniers. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I decided I was going to take William Eklund. For some reason, he's still available at 17, despite being ranked 7. We're going to continue with the Swedish theme. He's got nice attributes. My scouts think he's going to be good, so I keep forgetting how to actually draft. Yep. William Eklund, you've been drafted. Very good. Okay, let's fast forward. This is going to be our Vegas pick at 24. Yeah, so Wallstead went at 12, Casa went at 15. So we're not getting one of the top goalies this draft. Carson Lambos, he's got decent looking attributes. Defenseman, 5-star projected. Point man, I'm not always so sure about the point man sort of, what do you call it, archetype. Cole Sillinger, I'm not such a huge fan of those attributes. He's got determination 16, which is sort of like a prerequisite for drafting someone that they have reasonably high determination. He's got a good wrist shot. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at a couple of these other guys. Okay, so we could take this guy, another defenseman, offensive defenseman. Reasonably high determination. He's got good passing. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of the other guys. Ryan Ufko. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna skip ahead in the recording once I've figured out who to draft. Okay, so I'm taking Sillinger, even though I'm not that big a fan of where his attributes are right now, but my scouts really like him. He's ranked high. I was also thinking about, well, there are a bunch of other guys that I considered taking. I also like Kent Johnson, who actually has better attributes than Sillinger does right now, but my scouts seem to like him a bit less, and maybe he'll still be available at my next pick, so I'm going to take Sillinger. And I've seen Kent Johnson do well in save before, but I'm going to take Sillinger. And we'll see what's available at my next pick. Okay, so my next second round pick is at 48, and I decided I was going to take this Leighton Moore guy because my scouts really like him. They think he's shit at defense, but I like his attributes. I would like his determination and work rate to be higher, his mental stats in general, but they're all right. He's already got some nice speed and some nice offensive attributes. Again, they say he sucks at defense, but hopefully that'll develop over time. I want to take this guy. Oscar Olsson is my dude from an online league. I kind of scammed him this time. He went first overall in my online league, and I drafted him, and he's now like my first line left winger. I'll take him like if he's still on the board by my next pick, even if this scout thinks he's only 3-star potential. This other guy, a bit more ambitious. They think he's like James Van Riemsdyk. He's not the worst, but he had 31 points last season. And I know you could say, oh, the comparisons don't mean all that much, but they mean something. Okay, anyway, I'm drafting this offensive defenseman, Leighton Moore. What's my next pick? Okay, I have 58. Olison's still available. When's my next pick after this? Ooh, I could take Olison with my next pick. Again, like I don't even like him that much in this game, but I'm taking him basically for sentimental reasons. Okay, so again, I'm gonna pause the recording and come back once I've decided on my pick. Okay, so I decided I'm taking Aiden Reschuk. He's good determination, good mental stats, some decent speed, and hopefully his strength and stamina and stuff develop, and some nice offensive attributes. So I'm going to draft him, and my scouts like him as well. Draft player. If Olison is available with my next pick, I'm going to take him. I don't care. He's there. All right, Olison, you've been drafted. 3rd round pick. Okay, fast forward again. Okay, so I went ahead and finished the draft. I got bored at some point during like my millions of 4th round picks. I took some guys I liked. I didn't take some other guys. I took some of the guys my scouts recommended, some of the unranked players, a couple overagers, just because I had so many picks, and maybe these guys will turn out. I think I took like one goalie. I didn't get any of the top goalies, obviously. So I think I'm working on later. Obviously, like I've got no NHL goalies on my system right now, but I'm working on maybe I'll sign or trade for a goalie at some point when I'm ready to compete. I'm not going to draft the goalie really, really early on. I don't know. But yeah, so I drafted a bunch of players, and then we'll see how it goes. So that's the draft concluded, and we'll move on to free agency. Maybe I'll sign some guys in free agency because I can't just plug up my roster entirely with these prospects. There's a bunch of them obviously aren't going to be ready. Yeah, okay. So I will continue to sim forward. Okay, so it's now free agency time. I offered contracts to some of the guys I drafted in the earlier rounds, and hopefully a couple of them will be ready to play in the NHL this year. I'm hoping that Edvinsson and Eklund will be ready to do something in the NHL. If not, we're going to try it out for like training camp, preseason, and then maybe a couple weeks of the regular season. If it doesn't work out, then they have the AHL to go to. Given the fact that we have like $50 million in cap space, I offered a bunch of people contracts, mostly just sort of like players to ensure that we're competitive, usually not signed long-term sort of thing, so that, if it goes well, I can re-sign them, or I can trade them for assets, or just let them walk or whatever. I signed 2 goaltenders because we've got no capable goaltenders in our system right now. I gave Chris Dredger a sort of longer-term contract for I forget how much, but since it was like 3 years, and I think he was asking for like $4 million. I gave him $5 million just because I don't think in the next 3 years we're going to be experiencing cap problems. So signed Chris Dredger to try to be the starting goaltender. His attributes look good, and I also looked at Antti Ranta, who wanted more money, and his attributes were a bit worse, and he's older. I also offered Jaro Halak a 1-year deal. I think also like $5 million. I offered everyone more than they asked for, just so that we have a better chance of getting them. I offered Alec Martinez a contract just to play defense. I didn't offer so many people, so many defenseman contracts, because we still have Carlson. I mean, I am intending on getting rid of him at some point, but we do still have Carlson for the time being. We have Edvidson, who may or may not play in the NHL this year. We have Ryan Merkley. We have that guy whose name I can't pronounce. His name starts with KN. And we have Mario Ferraro as well. But I offered more forwards. I also offered, I don't know how to say this name, Ustel, and then I offered some forwards to sort of cheapish 1 or 2 year contracts. Bukestad, Galchenyuk, who actually I think he got almost 60 points last season with Ottawa. Galchenyuk, Krejci, veteran presence, Bobby Ryan, and yeah, that's what I did so far. Anders Nilsson, I didn't offer this guy. Oh no, I was trying to trade for him like a million years ago. Okay, that's why it's lit up. But those other guys, I offered contracts to. So I'm going to sim forward and see how many of them we get. Okay, so I simmed ahead to October, so it's the start of the second season. But I think in free agency, I think I got everybody I offered. So this is what our lines look like right now. Yeah, we've got a guy injured, so I'd have to call someone up. Yeah, let's call you up. Okay, these are our lines. Let's get them in the lineup. Okay, so I had these lines set differently. Coach mixed them up a bit for the first game, but essentially we've got Meyer and LeBanc on the first line. I signed Galchenyuk. Galchenyuk, apparently he did great in the training camp scrimmages. He scored in a preseason game, and he had a lot of points last season. I wanted to try Eklund on the first line, but the coach doesn't seem to be doing that, and I'm not really necessarily going to stop and adjust my lines every 5 seconds, so we might just live with that. Eklund is a center primarily, so I would like for him to be playing center. Oh, he scored in our... Okay, so we played one preseason game and one the first game of the regular season, which we lost in overtime or shootout to Calgary. But anyway, we got Bukestad, Bobby Ryan on the right side. I still don't know how to say this name. Carlson is injured, so Edvidson is getting that spot on the first pair, which is nice. And I'm just going to sim more games and see how it goes, and we can make adjustments based on that. So that is our lineup. I sent some of our prospects back to junior. Sillinger, Bordelot, Weisblatt, Moore, some other guys. I sent some guys down to the minors. DeSimone and Middleton. We had too many forwards up at our AHL team. Sorry, I meant defensemen. We had too many defensemen up, and our AHL team was lacking defensemen. So I waived these two guys. They cleared waivers. I did see if anyone would be willing to give me any pick for them first, but nobody wanted to do that. So they cleared waivers, went down. This is what our lineup looks like right now. Yeah, I'll show you the stats for that first game. I'm not going to... we got killed in our one preseason game. By the way, I realized I didn't have the... I put myself on vacation. I didn't have the settings on for the board to schedule preseason games for us, so we just only got one preseason game, but they played a lot of training camp scrimmages, I guess. Yeah, so we played against Calgary. Bukestad scored, Eklund scored, and we had a long shootout here. Somehow we got to the point... I might have to adjust our shootout thing, because somehow we got to the point where Ustel was shooting, which isn't ideal. Okay, let's go back. Oh, and one thing let's just look at our power play units for a sec. Meyer, Galchenyuk. I don't like... Okay, I'm gonna... Whatever, I'll just leave it. We're not gonna worry too much about doing well this year, and I will also... Is Carlson healthy yet? Yeah, let's get him off the injured reserve. Good. And let's just double check our picks. Obviously, we have our own pick. We only have one other first. We have San Jose... No, sorry. San Jose is us. We have Dallas as first. We also have Pittsburgh and Vegas as second. So those are the teams we need to track going forward. Okay. I think that'll be all for now, and we'll sim more of the season in the next video.